Hi everyone. This is actually, I think, either the next day or 2 days after I started the first video. The batteries in my camera died, so hopefully I don't repeat any information, and if I do, please just give me some grace. I know I was finishing up talking about using the Lindane shampoo and just how I treated myself and what worked for me this last time that I had scabies to get rid of them. And basically I'm just going to quickly finish that up. I've used the Lindane shampoo on my scalp and my eyebrows for it says that it's so toxic to use rubber gloves. You're not supposed to let that touch your hands. I used it for exactly the 4 minutes. It did burn. My husband used the stopwatch. We made sure we followed the directions to the T, and we rinsed it out really quickly. And then on my eyelashes, I also used that, but I think I only used it for like half a minute because it burned. But we rinsed that out, and all that coupled with the benzoate lotion, it took care of everything for me this last time. So I'm gonna move on, and I'm hoping that I'm just kind of trying to remember where I was because I haven't watched the first video back. Mainly I wanted to cover, how do you know if you're reinfected? What's the difference between reinfection and post-nodular scabies? So reinfection, you will know if you have been reinfected within, I believe it's 48 to 72 hours. What will happen and that actually happened to me 3 times this last time that I had scabies. I would use the permethrin cream and my body would start to heal, and then literally within about 48 hours it would start to come back. And you can just tell, you'll look at the affected areas wherever you have it on your body. Hands and wrists are a very common area. For me, it was my wrist. And hands, both, and you'll just be able to tell. It'll start to burn again, the rash will start to come back, the pinkish reddish rash will start to come back. For me, the one time I had new burrows on my wrist that were up above where it previously had been, and that's how I knew. So and the itch, you'll still have prolific itching. And now that's what's so hard to decipher. The itching is what makes it so hard to decipher between reinfection and post-nodular scabies. Now, if you have what they call post-nodular scabies, that means that all of the scabies, mites, and eggs have been killed in your body, but your skin. And especially if you're someone like me, I had used permethrin cream 4 times, and that just didn't work for me. Plus I had used 2 rounds of the oral ivermectin, and it just did not work for me this last time. And then finally, like I said, the Lindane shampoo and then the benzoate, the 25% lotion, is what I ended up needing to use this last time. And it was just different. After I used the Lindane and the benzoate, I no longer had any active, rashes coming back. And I would say probably 4 or 5 days after I treated myself with those things, I did have post-nodular scabies occur. That is where your body is trying to get rid of what's left in your body, and where you'll get the bumps, you'll get bumps. And I actually had it started on this hand, my left hand, where I had really bad infection, and I had some bumps come back, but it hurried up, and it was the next day it dried up and it was gone. Then on this hand, my right hand, I had actual red bumps that it did itch, and that freaked me out. But luckily when I woke up the next morning, they were all gone. And then on my right wrist where the infection originated, I had bumps that came back, and that kind of concerned me too, but they're just white, and that was all that they ever did. So I knew, and I mean, my left foot had been infected, and that itched a lot. My scalp was infected, that itched a lot afterwards. And I think that's where a lot of people believe that they are reinfected when they're not, just because of the itching, you know, and especially if you have used as many treatments as I have to get rid of it, your body will more than likely itch, because your skin has been dried out. You have dumped tons of chemicals into your body and put it through the ringer, so to speak. So that's just like kind of par for the course. So to help, then that brings me to the next question. So if you're going through that waiting period right now and you don't think you're reinfected, you think you're just going through post-scabies, what do you do to help with the itch? So something that my dermatologist prescribed for me is called, it's a cream, and it's called triamcinolone acetonide cream, or acetonide cream, USP 0.1%. And I'll kind of hold it up. I don't even know if you can see it very well, but this is what my dermatologist prescribed for me. And that helped a lot. Just with like, and obviously you don't put that, it's a tiny tube. You don't put it over your entire body. That just helps like with spot itchiness. So like I put it on this hand when I had that spot, this hand when I had those little red spots, my wrist when I had those spots, like on my foot. I had my husband put some for me on my back when that was super itchy. And usually another thing too with like post-scabies is that if you get itchiness, it's not the same kind of itchiness that you would have had when you were infected. Like when you're infected, you just itch like it's awful, and especially in the night. Post-scabies, it's just like kind of hit and miss itchiness. It's like your body is trying to work out the kinks, so to speak, and just get rid of like any remnants of what's in there, because it's got to get rid of all the mites, all of their eggs, all of the waste they have left behind, and plus all the damage that has been done to the skin through dumping these chemicals on them. You know, our bodies have to work all that out and get rid of it. So more things that I have done to help get rid of post-scabies itchiness is this Eucerin. I made sure I got it in a pump bottle, because then that way you're not dipping your fingers, just in case, like when you're going through treatment, just in case you don't get rid of the scabies and you get reinfected, then you're not dipping your hands in the tub and then you have to like throw it out or let it sit for a month or whatever to make sure everything's dead in it before you can use it again. That was just gross to me. So the pump is nice, and this is Eucerin Original Healing, and it's nice and thick. And then another thing that's awesome that I've used post-scabies, skin healing, my sister got this for me, and the brand name is Cure. Again, hopefully you can see it okay. And it's their Laid Back Lavender and Argan Oil Body Lotion. And this is really nice. Like, this feels good on the skin. It's a little bit thicker too of a cream. And lavender is very calming for the skin. So I just have been rotating back and forth between the two of those. Then what about the face? Like, especially if you're somebody like me who last time that I was infected, I had it scalp, I had it eyebrows, eyelashes, nose, ears, like I was a hot mess. So my skin is still on my face recovering, like my eyes, and eyebrows, like lids, eyebrows, and forehead. So what do you do then like say for your face. Again, my sister got me this. This is amazing. It's so thick. So if you don't like thick creams, you might not like this. But if you want to get your skin healed up more quickly, this is the way to go. Again, the brand name is Acure. And it's Seriously Soothing Day Cream with argan oil and sunflower amino acids. And it says it's for normal to sensitive skin. So it's not like gonna be super oily if you have oily skin to begin with. And then, you know, after you deal with scabies, your skin probably, well, some people's skin is gonna be sensitive. So I'll hold that up so maybe you can see a little bit better. And this is like a really nice heavy cream. And then another thing that my sister has been so good to me, she got me so many nice products to use just to heal my skin after this. This is called, it's from Dr. Bronner's All One, and it's Naked Organic Lip Balm. I'll hold that up so you can see it, because even though I didn't treat my lips, you know, the treatment I had to put all up to my lips did get really dry. And this is nice. I really like this. There's nothing like junky in it. It's just nice. Had been nice to use. That's like about all that I had to share for like how to heal your skin after. And I kind of wanted to touch on, please, there's a lot of good information out there for scabies, like if you go searching on the internet, but there's a lot of really bad information too. Like some people try to be helpful, but they just don't like know the truth. Please do not do crazy things to your skin, like taking bleach baths. It's not going to kill scabies anyway. Please don't do anything crazy, like that's just going to damage your skin more. Things, natural cures, like I can't speak for homeopathic stuff because I've never personally used it. So I can't vouch for the validity of that or not. But like things like tea tree oil, that does not work. That will kill the mites, but it will not kill their eggs. So if you're not going to be able to kill the eggs, scabies reproduce on about a 3-day cycle. So it makes no sense to kill the mites, but then have their eggs hatch, and then you're going to just be caught in like a vicious cycle of, you know, I don't personally believe, I've never had success personally with getting rid of scabies with tea tree oil. Tried it, did not work for me. And I actually used clove oil with that too, because it's supposed to be those two things. And I've heard neem oil too, but I mean, I personally would not ever waste my money on it because it just didn't work. So, I'm just trying to give you, you know, honest feedback on what worked for me and what didn't work for me. And, you know, again, remember that that was the 3rd time in my life that I've had scabies. So the first 2 times, permethrin cream did work for me. The permethrin 5% cream. For whatever reason, this last time in my life, it just didn't work. So I'm not really sure. And you know, some people would say, well, did you clean your environment good enough? Yes. I was cleaning my furniture. I was cleaning my floors. I was wearing rubber gloves every time that I did laundry. Rubber gloves, it's essential. You must, so that you're not reinfecting your laundry when you take it out of the dryer. I did everything perfectly. And I give God all the glory. If you're not a Christian and you're watching this, then I can't help that, because I give God all the glory that none of the rest of my family members had scabies. Yes, I did a lot of cleaning, but I still give him all the glory for keeping the rest of them safe and protected from getting it. So I guess I'm trying to figure out like what's what other questions I had written down here to try to answer. So, I mean, I did touch on, like, I think I kind of touched on how your skin might look afterward, you know, just dry. You can have really dry skin after scabies. That's normal. You know, and if you find, like, I've heard people say that they found little white, like, crystal-y type things on their skin. I found the same type things. That's not scabies. It's normal for skin to flake and be really dry. It's normal for skin to peel afterwards. Don't let that freak you out. And it's hard, like, it's really hard emotionally. Like, scabies definitely can be extremely traumatizing. I know it traumatized me severely emotionally. Not so much when I was 19 when I had it, but, you know, the last 2 times that I had it. And it can be really difficult to get through that. If you're a Christian, then we have an advantage because we have the Lord Jesus to help us get through that. And, you know, if you are not a Christian, you might want to become one. I can't honestly recommend any other. I mean, Jesus is my everything. So I know that these videos are about scabies and not about Christianity, but he is my everything. So if you're interested in learning more about Jesus, you can feel free to leave comments in the comment section, and I can definitely, like, help you with that. So, and I already did touch on, like, what not to do to get rid of scabies. Like, please no bleach baths, and just, you know, there's just so many other crazy things that I've seen, like ammonia. I don't want to judge anybody because I know that those people were probably desperate, just like I felt desperate. Both of the last times that I had the problem. But please don't do anything like that. That can be so awful for your skin, especially when there are so many other things that have been proven to work, that, you know, they're not gonna, like, permanently scar you or, like, permanently ruin your skin. Trying to think off the top of my head let me try to give you a list of all of the medications. I wish I would have written that down on my little outline here. I wish I would have written that down, but I know malathion is one that I've read about, and I can't remember the percentage on that one. Obviously, we've talked a lot about permethrin, 5% cream. We've talked about the ivermectin pills. Those are oral pills that you take internally. A lot of people have success with them. I just did not. Then there's the benzyl benzoate, 25%. That's a lotion. Then there is the Lindane shampoo. There's also a Lindane cream. There's something called Urax, and I think the other name for that is Crotamaton or something like that. I didn't even honestly mess with that particular one because it has a high failure rate. But again, everybody's different, and what works for one person is not going to necessarily work for the next. And then a lot of people have had success with sulfur, like shampoos and soaps, body washes. Again, I didn't want to mess with those because they can make your skin really itchy, and I read that they're super stinky too. So I just opted not to even use those ones. And I'm trying to remember if there were any other. Those are all that I can remember off the top of my head. I never used malathion either, so I have no experience with that. But I mean, yeah, those are the ones that I remember reading about. And like I said, you know, if you live in the United States, like I do, the benzyl benzoate lotion, if you don't live like in a major city, You know, I don't know like what it's like in major cities as far as the availability of that lotion. When you live in a little rural area, I know that you're not going to be able, the chances of you being able to find it are probably less likely. I don't want to like speak anything bad because it could be different everywhere, but I had to have mine done at a compounding pharmacy. I just kind of wanted to like remind everybody about that. So be prepared that if you decide to use benzyl benzoate, you may have to have that done at a compounding pharmacy. And if you live in a rural area, that may mean a drive. Like for me, I had to drive like an hour and a half to get that. And it was $51. Some insurance companies will not cover that, like mine didn't. So, you know, it's just all in what you can afford. Mine was $51. My Lindane shampoo was $71. That was with a discount, a Good Neighbor RX card. Before that, it would have been like $132, I believe, for like a little bottle. And if that's not something, like if you use the shampoo, I would only recommend that if you have like it on your scalp and in your eyebrows and eyelashes. I would not recommend using Lindane shampoo on your entire body just because of the highly toxic nature of that and that it can cause seizures and stuff. And I know I covered this in my first video about scabies, but I just want to remind everybody because like I don't ever want to recommend something and then without like letting you know what the, you know, side effects could be, potential side effects. For me, I was fine. But, you know, obviously it's given some people seizures and it's a highly toxic thing. So I just want to like put that out there and warn everybody. Before I make a decision, I like to have all the information and go into it with eyes wide open. So that's why I put that out there. And I also wanted to say that, you know, one day when I was in like my healing phase, it was probably about a week after I had used my final treatment. My scalp was just so flippin' itchy and my left foot was so itchy. And that night when I went to bed, I itched. And I thought, oh no, like am I reinfected? Because that particular night I was just so itchy. Now the next day though, I took my shower and I was fine. So I think that, you know, and also too, like, you know, I had to shave my head so that the medication could get down into my scalp. I know I shared that in the first video. So if you do that, remember, because I had forgotten, that when your hair grows back in, that can make your head itchy. So my husband actually reminded me of that. He's like, maybe your head's just so itchy because your hair's grown back in. And that's what it was. So, you know, that, and remember that anxiety can cause itchiness too. And again, I mean, scabies can make a person super anxious. Well, it's a known fact that anxiety causes a histamine reaction in our bodies, and that can make us feel itchy too. So that's why even though like scabies is super traumatic, trying to stay like calm and peaceful during the post-treatment, especially, is just more beneficial to us because then that's not triggering, our bodies aren't triggering that histamine reaction, and you know, that will help too with the itchiness. That, and it also depends on where you live. If you live in a really dry place, or like, you know, this last time I had it, it was it's, you know, really cold out still, and that can make skin really dry and itchy too. So all of those things come into play and are factors in, you know, skin's healing and regeneration and all of that. So just things to like keep in mind. And then also something that I had remembered, a question was, a lot of people wonder, well, can my pets get scabies? The answer is no. Like if you have a cat or a dog, they cannot get scabies from you. However, they can carry the mites in their fur, which can reinfect you. So if you have dogs can be treated with the permethrin spray like I showed you in the first video. And I would recommend doing that very highly. And then if you have an area outside, like a nice big kennel where they can run around and play and be happy while you're going through like your healing phase, I would definitely recommend that. Cats, on the other hand, permethrin is deadly to cats. So you're not going to want to keep your cat in your house while you are going through scabies treatment and while you're like detoxifying your home. You are probably going to want to, like with our cat, we have a cat, but we are very fortunate. We live in the country, and he's used to being an indoor-outdoor cat. So he was, fine with being outside the whole time while we went through our process of treating the home. And there were times he wanted to come back in, but I knew better than to let him back in because I knew it could be deadly to him. So do not spray permethrin on your cats. Do not let your cats in your house while you are spraying permethrin, like on your furniture, your mattresses, any of that. That could kill your cat. So I thought it was important to share that. Trying to think if there are any other questions that off the top of my head that I needed to have answered when I was looking into this. I tried to remember as much as I could and be as thorough as I could. Again, going to a hotel, that's a personal decision, but remember that if you do, you could infect others. So like if there's a place you can go, or if you can camp outside in your backyard in your tent, those are great options. It's up to you. That's a decision that everybody has to make for themselves, and be comfortable with. I don't really think that there's anything else. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down in the comments below the video. I will do my best to answer them when I get them. But I tried to be as thorough as I could. I didn't want anybody to have to try to hunt the entire internet down for this information like I had to. And I also just wanted to make sure that I was giving you factual information based on the truth of, the actual facts. Not just on opinions or what I thought. I wanted to make sure I was giving you factual information. Also, just a quick word, if you are really sure that you have scabies, don't wait. Like, the second time I had them, my husband kept telling me, no, you don't have scabies, and I knew that I did, and it just got worse, progressively worse on my body. Just don't wait. Like, get in there, get it taken care of so that it doesn't spread to other people. And also, fight for yourself. When you go to see the doctors, if you see a doctor or a nurse practitioner or a dermatologist, fight for yourself. Be willing to be determined to get what you need, how you need it. This last time that I had scabies, I had to fight to get the medications that in the end are what got me over it. The Lindane shampoo, I had to drive an hour and a half to the city to get that. And again, the benzoyl benzoate lotion, I had to drive an hour and a half to the city to get that. So just don't be afraid to speak up for yourself, and don't be afraid to use your determination and your drive and your tenacity to get what you need to heal yourself or your family, your loved ones. Or if you're looking at this for a friend, just don't be afraid to do what you need to do to get what you need, to get it taken care of. The first time I had scabies when I was 19, they did do a skin scraping, and the skin scraping came back negative. And the doctor that I saw in the walk-in clinic, he was like, it came back negative, but he's like, I am almost positive that this is what you have. And it was. The last time, both second and third times that I had them,